My poor friend is jealous of me for having money. Story: I'm 20F, enrolled in the laundry program at school where I pay a lump sum and they do my laundry for me all year. It's very popular at my university and they pick it up from my dorm weekly. My friend, 21F, is weirdly obsessed with this and constantly comments on it for some reason. She always comes over and sees my bag and has some random comment to say. She'll say, "How could anyone pay for that?" To which I always say, why would I ever do something I don't want to, if I can just pay someone else to do it for me? I'm wondering if she's like this to everyone, because that would explain why she has few friends. Almost everyone I know uses the laundry program. Her unwanted comments make me like her less. She did it again and was like, what a waste of money. The laundry program is ridiculously expensive and no one can afford that. I simply said that I don't find it expensive at all, and that she finds it expensive because she's poor. I'm not, so I'll continue paying for the program. She's furious that I called her poor, but she is. It's just a fact. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Laugh out loud at all the bitter people. It's unfortunate that her parents don't take care of her, like they should, but that's not my problem. I'm not her mom and dad. They're responsible for their kid. Response 1. ESH. She clearly is jealous and resentful, and you clearly are unempathetic, snotty, and not caring or savvy enough to handle this with any wisdom or grace. Pointing out someone's lack of resources isn't kind. Did you earn that money or it is your parents who actually pay? I'm surprised you have any friends too. Edited to add. Thanks for the awards, did not expect that. Reply 1. My thoughts exactly. I really hate when offspring count their parents' wealth as their own, and likewise hold a parent's lack of wealth against someone. When you are in school, your brain and your personality are your currency because none of you are earning. Obviously, there are exceptions. Just stop judging people for things beyond their control, especially young people. There is so much anxiety in this age group because of this kind of behavior. Reply 2. I once sat with some fellow students where we lamented increasing housing prices and how some people can't afford to live. This one kid managed to chime in with, well, that's all nice, but rich people have difficulties too. My parents have an indoor pool, and our contractor still hasn't found a way to eliminate the smell of chlorine in the house. Everybody was too dumbfounded to even respond, so we pretended it was never said. Writing this, it sounds so incredibly stupid. I'm even starting to question myself on if it really happened, but it did. Reply 3. If no one hit back with, you're not rich, you just have rich parents who can stop supporting you anytime they want. Reply 4. Ha ha ha. I was with my cousins during the holidays and one of them was saying her parents are very upset with their 6-bedroom house that has a gym, pool, and movie theater in it, plus a cabana house the maid lives in. Apparently it's an awful house and not the mom's style, and she's oh so miserable. I wanted to vomit. Reply 5. An Australian politician once suggested people struggling to enter the housing market should get a loan from the bank of mom and dad. It didn't go down well. Response 2. ESH. This is not hard. I hate doing laundry, and I'm lucky I have the money to hire somebody else. I got it. You think it's a waste of money. I don't care what you think about my laundry. Stop giving me crap about it. You can shut her down hard without calling her poor. Reply 1. Yeah, everyone sucks here. I would have said, I'm not paying for laundry, I'm paying for fee time. I don't judge how you spend your money. Please don't judge me on how I spend mine. But I do like your mention of being lucky enough to afford it, so I'd work that in too. Oh, Fiki, I am curious, who pays for your laundry? Is this your money or your parents? I wouldn't be so smug about being able to afford things I didn't actually earn the money to pay for. It sounds like she is resentful, and it's not cool for her to put that on you. You sound spoiled and entitled. Poor shouldn't be used as an insult like that. Also, not being able to afford something doesn't make you poor. Two people who make the same amount of money can still have different circumstances. There was a million better ways to have responded to this without coming across. Not all like an entitled, classist elitist. And she is also being judgmental and classist if she's judging you by what you can afford. Reply 2. Given statistics, if OP is in the US, as many here are assuming, OP likely took out student loans. Many will allow the addition of programs like laundry and meal plans run through the school if the student wishes to add it on. Chances are actually really good that it's neither OP's money nor OP's parents' money. It's probably a student loan. Reply 3. Nah, OP wouldn't say that because that's not what OP meant. OP is entitled and spoiled. Why would I do something when I can just pay someone else to do it for me? She's really just saying, I'm too good to do that, showing exactly the type of people her parents are and raised her to be. An entitled, spoiled brat, with a lack of independence, lack of self-discipline, and a lack of responsibility. In my opinion, I'm imagining OP to be such an insanely rude and snobbish friend that whatever her friends said to her was probably warranted or provoked in some way from OP. You know what they say? There are 3 sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth, and OP isn't giving a very open narrative, I think. Reply 4, I'm imagining OP to be such an insanely rude and snobbish friend that whatever her friend said to her was probably warranted or provoked in some way from OP. I absolutely agree. Doing laundry is a part of life. We all do things we don't want to do. If OP's response is that she doesn't understand why she would do work, well, I have to wonder who is writing her essays. Reply 5, if you can pay someone to do something you don't want to do, then why not pay it? That's such a dumb mentality to have. Response 3, is this real? Everyone sucks here, but you're definitely the bigger AH. For many people, college is the first time they're exposed to truly different lifestyles, economic class structure, and upbringings. You could both learn from each other. Neither of you chose the backgrounds you come from. Reply 1, yes. Calling your friend poor over something that clearly has deeper roots for them is so mean, and OP is a loser for not having any compassion. They're in for a rude awakening. Reply 2, sadly, my experience with spoiled brats like this is that they rarely actually experience many consequences for behavior like this. They'll find other rich friends and be just fine. Reply 3, when PPL ask why you pay for something, explain time value of money. You've weighed the costs of all the time you'd have to devote doing whatever it is yourself, and find more value to your personal life to pay for a service. Never call someone out for being poor. Your friend is probably having big insecurities, so projects that it's stupid to pay for it. You will come across this your whole life. Be the bigger person. I say you're the a-hole because you called her poor. You aren't a good friend, are you? Reply 4, this. College was one of the first times I left the very privileged bubble of my upbringing and met people from all walks of life. I took that time to listen and learn from them. I learned so much. But this girl is 2 years in and is still is missing it. She's only 20 though. I'm hoping she'll learn. Maybe this will be an opportunity. Reply 5. Bingo. I grew up very economically privileged in Middle America, but went on scholarship to a U.S. East Coast private university. When I tell you the culture shock I experienced, I'd never seen that kind of money in my life. It was like a different world of privilege. I was working full-time through college to have spending money while my peers were blowing through their parents' credit cards and making disparaging comments to my face if I had to check my bank account before brunch and compare it to the menu to make sure I spent within my means. I never commented on their resources, where they got them, or how they spent them, but they sure loved to comment on mine. It was weird and preemptively defensive of them. They were irrationally obsessed with the fact that I made and budgeted and spent my own money. If I declined an invite, without giving a reason, they'd relentlessly push for an explanation, and I'd have to confess it was financial, which I'm sure they already knew, and they'd start all over about how all I ever talked about was money. Self-fulfilling prophecy has entered the chat. And it's not fair to make everyone else uncomfortable about their financial status or whatever. And my conclusion, looking back, is that the most privileged people who have never encountered people who have to budget in any capacity feel uncomfortable the first time they have to confront the reality of their privilege and the advantages that come with it. And like you said, college is the first time people are exposed to different lifestyles, including people who are less privileged than them. I certainly had my own reality checks in college, but that's the entire point of going somewhere new and meeting a diverse set of people, in my opinion, so I'm grateful for the exposure. It's valuable if you're not insecure about your privilege. Response 4. I was going to go with ESH, but after reading your incredibly entitled and self-absorbed comments, want you to know that you are leaning towards you're the a-hole, and boy are you in for a shock in life. You've been fortunate enough to have generous parents who are willing to support you financially, but this is not the case for all people, even those from upper middle class families. My parents were wealthy, and they held every dollar over my head. Not everyone has parents who are willing to help even if they can. You need to be more self-aware and empathetic towards other people. Be sensitive and kind because life always comes full circle. Reply 1. Sadly, chances are just as good that she'll swan into a 6-figure job at a company owned by one of her parents' friends and be absolutely certain that she earned that on her own merits. Reply 2. Lol, I know a girl like that. She never shuts up about how she managed to get in a very sought-after commercial lab position and how they are very selective as the demand to work for them is high. How they chose her because she is such a hard worker, etc. Another friend of mine applied for the same job. Has more experience, higher GPA, honors student, and didn't go drinking every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, but instead actually studied. I was a bit confused about why they would choose person A over B. So one day I decided to ask if she knew someone that worked at the company, and she said with a straight face, "Yes, my mother is the lab manager." I couldn't contain myself and said, "Ever though that maybe you got that position because of your mother?" And she got really angry with me and told me I was envious and that she got that position because she is a great fit. Yeah, no, she isn't my friend anymore. She cut me off because of this conversation. But honestly, good riddance. News still occasionally comes back to me that she is still going around telling people I am jealous. I don't even wish or want to work in the pharmaceutical industry at this point in my life, and everyone that cares to listen knows it. I find it a gray area morally. I chose my field of study to mean something to others, not for the money. I would rather be a high school biology teacher, as I am now, or pursue something in academics, once my mental health allows it. Edit, spelling. Reply 3. Seriously shocked that mom would be allowed to hire her own child as a direct report. I wonder if dad owns the lab. Reply 4. My father owns 2 companies, with my stepmother making her own 6 figures added to it. When it came time for my college, the best my dad did was drive me to the office where you apply for loans. And he was not signing anything himself. I was basically offered a car ride, and that was it. Reply 5. Damn, I'm sorry, that's actually so effed up. Your dad sucks. Do you live in the USA? If so, that's effed, considering that colleges count your parents' wealth into whether or not you get financial aid, and your parents not wanting to pay and leaving you on your own doesn't count as an excuse to not count their wealth. So wealthy parents in the USA who can afford college for their kids but don't pay for it are uncaring and majorly screwing their kids over. Response 5. She's furious that I called her poor, but she is. It's just a fact. You're the a-hole. Just because she can't afford the program doesn't make her poor. It just makes her less well off than you. Your use of poor is derogatory and dismissive in this context, and you know it. Reply 1. I'm guessing OP is one of those really despicable people that says, "I'm just being honest," or the "no offense but you are poor" type girl. She hides behind the "I'm just being honest and stating a fact" because she thinks it covers her cruelty. It doesn't. Reply 2. Going on a tangent here, my girlfriend used to say to me, "What? I'm not being mean, I'm just being honest." Jokingly, whenever I would call her mean for whatever joke she had just made, would like to note this would all be in good fun. But let me tell you, it was the most infuriating thing. Saying it's just the truth does not make whatever you said less harmful or mean, and actually makes it hit more. I'm gonna go with, "You're the a-hole" just for that comment. Otherwise, it would have been, "Everyone sucks here." Response 6. YTA. Yes, your friend's comments are annoying, but your attitude is entitled and snotty, frankly. Calling her poor and pointing out you're rich is pretty much the epitome of being an entitled age. Reply 1. I'm just impressed OP is still in university and already has a high-paying job to make her not be poor or have to worry about expenses. Unless, of course, OP hasn't worked to earn anything and somehow feels superior to her friend because of money she was simply given. In this case, she, OP, is the ass. Reply 2. I'd argue that her friend's attitude is also snotty. She's essentially saying, "Your means of doing laundry are so expensive, you're so wasteful, and I'm better than you for not doing that." Both of them suck, but I wouldn't say that OP is necessarily worse. If someone constantly got on my ass just because they would do something differently than I do, even though it doesn't concern them, eventually I'd snap and say something mean too. You can't insult someone over and over and then get mad when they insult you too. Reply 3. I mean, OP's tone makes me think she's not a reliable narrator at all, and OP's friend sounds like she didn't even know this service was a thing, let alone able to fathom having that much disposable income. They both suck. Reply 4. Spot on the friend was definitely being annoying and could have been shut down without demeaning them. I'm also interested to know exactly how much this service cost. Any service or product offered by my college was always insanely overpriced. I can imagine if it was something that was offered when I lived on campus, most of my friend group probably wouldn't have used it. We were almost mostly on fin aid and scholarships. Hell, without a meal plan, I would have starved my freshman year, laugh out loud, let alone having my laundry done. Response 7, YTA, because I'm more annoyed at the way you speak than the way your friend does. Why would I ever do something I don't want to if I can just pay someone else to do it for me? And let me answer this one for you outside of not having enough money, since you understand that 1.1. You want to save money, not because you don't have the money. Point 2. You want to be seen as a real adult who can handle their own crap. Point 3. It's yours. You can do it. Point 4. Taking pride in handling your own crap. Point 5. Not liking other people touching your stuff. Point 6. Because you're going to have to do it yourself one day. So why not do it now? Point 7. Because it's relaxing for some people. Point 8. To take a justified break from studying. Or homework. Point 9. Because you have the time to do it and the majority of the world handles their own crap when they can do it themselves. Point 10. It seems a little entitled when you do that, and you are not a full adult, and it sounds extremely entitled to say it when you are not a full adult. Reply 1. I'm actually shocked that she fully thinks the way she spoke is okay. I blame the parents for raising such an entitled brat like this, not even this girl. The other girl was being annoying 100%, and definitely needed some kind of reaction to stop the comments, but she is upset that I called her poor, but she is. It's just a fact. Is actually insane to me. Who says that? What? How do you know? What if her parents can afford it but are instead choosing to teach her normal human responsibilities and being humble so she doesn't end up like a spoiled, arrogant brat like you? Big, you're the a-hole. Reply 2, right? It's just a fact. Well, is it though? Are you familiar with the federal poverty guidelines, and do you know where your friend stands in relation to those? Or do you just think anyone who has to do their own laundry is poor? Because I've got news for you. So, we could talk more about facts and opinions, and whether it's a fact that OP is a brat, or maybe we can just hope they see the light after reading some of these comments. Say, hey, I got lucky, what can I say? My parents are fortunate enough to have money to spare. I know it's a privilege, and I know I'm fortunate. And I hope one day you are able to send your kids to college with the laundry add-on too. As I'm writing this, I'm realizing this is definitely not the only way OP is unaware of their privilege and potentially irritating the people around them with their callous indifference to others struggling. So who knows? Maybe the friend wasn't even as rude as we're all thinking. Maybe the friend is just trying to spark a little gratitude in OP reply 3. 5 is a big one for me. No matter how wealthy I was, and I'm not laugh out loud, I would personally never use this service. I don't like people touching my stuff in general, but especially my clothes and underwear. It's like a violation. I would rather burn anything touched by some random laundry worker than wear it. Reply 4. Right? Pays for a service that only flat-out rich people don't do for themselves, has not earned the money being used to pay for the services, still manages to have zero humility or gratitude about the whole thing. 0/10 to craps on their friend for feeling jealous about this luxury OP doesn't even appreciate. -20. Response 8, YTA. The issue is the effect her comments have on you. Annoyance, resentment. The issue is not socioeconomic standing. She's being a jerk, but you went quite low by insulting her in the manner you did rather than addressing how you felt about her continued complaints and, perhaps, suggesting you stop hanging out together. Response 9, scratch that, was going to say ESH. But basically, she's just mildly annoying. You're an a-hole who doesn't have enough money. Your parents have enough money to pay for the laundry service. Yes, 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 I imagine you're going to say that you worked summer jobs and founded your own company or some such BS. You're the a-hole. Reply 1. Agreed, this post is privilege personified. OP's wealth belongs to their parents, and calling someone poor while justifying it with a simple, well, she is, when it's not her fault she wasn't born with the silver spoon up her ass. Verdict. You're the a-hole and need some serious attitude adjustment. Maybe seek therapy because this is heading down the path of narcissism. Response 10. YTA, you are coming from a place of privilege. Not everyone has money to pay someone else to do a very basic chore. Good for you. But don't act like it's normal, even if maybe it seems like it is in the tiny little bubble of your school. It is definitely not an expected normal in the real world. It's a treat, a privilege, available to all but affordable to only a few. Normal is knowing how to do your own laundry and realizing it's something that can be done easily between other things and probably not worth the task and cost of sending out. Honestly, sometimes sending it out can be a bigger chore than just doing it. I've done both, so I can speak to it. Enjoy your privilege without judging others for not having it, because it's not realistic for most. If you'll have money all your life, good for you, but if that's not certain, now is a good time to get off the teat and start being responsible for all of your own chores, and bills for that matter, especially if you're hiring out for your chores. It seems your whole point is that your friend is poor and it's annoying you. You're the a-hole. Edit to add, you should stop calling this girl your friend, because if so, you are a really crafty friend. Response 11. Maybe it would be more appropriate to tell your friend how you feel about her comments, rather than calling her poor. Response 12. 20 and in college, I have a secret to tell you. You're not poor. Your parents aren't poor. You get no medals for that. Response 13. YTA. People like myself who didn't grow up with money often find it hard to see other people spending money on things which are considered a luxury. The envy is something I had to work on in my early 20s, but from the sounds of it, you were very rude to her. And in your quotes, it doesn't seem like she was being rude to you specifically. Calling her poor is extremely offensive and you should probably apologize. Then maybe you can explain that you are in a different financial situation to her and that you understand you are privileged and are grateful that you are able to pay for the laundry. Say that her comments or jabs upset you and make you feel bad when you are simply using what is available to you. Then hopefully she can say sorry too, and you can both move on. You are young, and uni is the time to learn about emotional maturity, and especially empathy. This is a great learning experience for you both. Should choose to learn and grow. Listen to each other and be open for a conversation. Response 14. ESH. Your friend sucks for harping on this issue, but you suck for calling her poor. When they go low, it's better for you to go high. Instead, you went gutter low. Response 15. YTA. Calling her poor was just uncalled for. You should have told her simply to drop the comments about the laundry already. You know her opinion and are just tired of hearing about from her. You didn't need to pull the "you're just poor" card here. That wasn't nice of you. Response 16. My college roommates didn't need student loans or jobs or even money to go out while I worked and pinched every penny. And sometimes all I had to eat was saltines. No one ever called me poor, even though I was. You're the a-hole. Response 17. I would say you're the a-hole and agree with your friend. Everyone should have to take care of themselves for a bit. It builds character. Having everything done for you builds entitlement. Character is endearing. Entitlement is rage-inducing. Response 18. YTA. While I do agree your friend didn't need to bring up her thoughts on the matter so frequently, you would be poor too without mommy and daddy taking care of you. Hopefully you actually learn what it's like to work for something someday. The idea that your parents wouldn't be good parents if they didn't pay your way is gross. Response 19. Your friend should have shut up about something that didn't affect her and wasn't costing her money. But you're no peach either. She went low. You went and grabbed a shovel. Everyone sucks here. Response 20. YTA. Being snobby isn't a good look. You're in college now and it's time to grow up and drop the mean girl attitude. Be better.